Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us for this segment, we have Alex Coffey, senior market strategist at TD Ameritrade, for an update on technical levels to watch in the Nasdaq-100. Also look at some volatility readings as well. Alex, it's great to see you as always. Happy New Year, and let's get a fresh update on technical levels to watch in the Nasdaq-100.
Yeah, Jill, of course, as we kind of made new highs in the Nasdaq 100, some of those technical charts from the past get thrown out, but I thought it'd be fun to look at this. What I did to construct this one, our same sort of stoplight pattern. I drew a trend line for the green light going from the low point of the last year of trading to that low that we saw towards the end of October. Then from there, creating a channel just to make sure I encapsulated the entire last 52 weeks of trading. And then the yellow kind of neutral stoplight is right there halfway between those two kind of channel points. And so what this really does to me, more so than precisely indicate technical levels, to me, this highlights just how extended the market had rallied the last couple months of the year. And while that yellow line doesn't necessarily represent a mean price point or a mean reverting center point for price, it does sort of indicate that like longer run trend and the trajectory. And so even with a pullback today and the final couple trading days of last year, we're still above sort of the on trend rally of what was a really, really objectively strong 2023.
And if we take a look at volatility readings on the Nasdaq-100, known as Vol-Q, any trends you can discern from there?
Well, we see it's coming up off the lows, but still relatively muted. So while I despise and try not to use percentages when talking about change and volatility, we're already talking about a percentage, it's about 30-35% higher than the low point that we saw. So we are seeing it start to, let's say, normalize the other way to a more long run kind of average for Vol-Q, which of course runs a little bit higher than you would see for, let's say, the VIX historically. Just a little bit higher beta stocks make up the Nasdaq 100, but relatively muted still, but peaking up towards that 20 level and slightly above that. The last couple sessions I think is interesting, given as quiet as it's been up until today.
Yeah, and well, let's take a look at the heat map. Speaking of that, it's been a while since we've seen some red on there. Clearly, some sector rotation to open up trade for 2024.
No doubt. I think this highlights something we had talked about to kind of close out the year as one of the primary risks for the market itself. So not economic risk, not interest rates, is just how strong the mega cap tech trade had been. And if you see some profit taking and some broadening out of this rally, if that happens due to a rotation out of those big Nasdaq stocks, you could see that be a recipe for some red. And today is absolutely showing that with names like Apple, Nvidia, AMD. You go down the list. If it's a big square on our board, it's a little bit red here today, and a lot of it red for a name like AMD. That really is weighing on the Nasdaq as well as the broader market.
All right, Alex, appreciate the insight as always. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq.